Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran, your tutor for Strategic Business Leader, and I welcome you all to the orientation for September and December 2023 exams. Welcome to the Strategic Business Leader orientation. Now, a lot will be discussed today, which will give you clarity for how you should be preparing for SBL in September 23 and December 23, and how effectively you can utilize this course to optimize your chances of success in your upcoming exams. Just before I begin the orientation, I would like to share with you all my profile. I am Kashif Kamran. In terms of my qualification, I am a fellow chartered certified accountant. I am a fellow chartered certified accountant, and I have a certificate in international auditing, and I'm a CA finalist from the Institute of Chartered Accountant of Pakistan. In terms of my teaching experience, it's been 15 years since I am teaching the ACCA qualification, and I teach paper AA, AAA, and SBL. I'm also a registered mentor for Oxford Brookes University. In terms of my achievements, my passing rates for SBL are above the SBL global averages since SBL paper started in September 2018. And in terms of my affiliations, I head the online teaching platform, Kashif Kamran's Digital Learning, from where you are taking this SBL online course. I'm also associated with PAC, which is a gold approved learning provider of ACCA in Lahore, Pakistan. And I'm also connected with Zivid College in India. Now, with that tutor profile, let's move on to how you can get connected with me on the social media. Now, we're living in the era of social media, so getting connected with the tutor and the possible ways you can get connected with the tutor, let's find them out. You can follow me on my Instagram. You can see the hyperlink on your screen. You can follow me on my Facebook, and you can follow me on my LinkedIn as well. You can follow me on the YouTube, which is more important because on the YouTube, I keep posting videos for AA, AAA, and SBL, which could be of interest to you. And you can email me your assignments, your questions at sblkashifkamran@gmail.com. So this is very important for you because any assignment or any question you want to send to me for review purpose, you will be emailing me that at sblkashifkamran@gmail.com. And you can follow me on my website, which is kashifkamran.com. So these are possible ways to get connected with me. You're also part of the WhatsApp group. That's another opportunity where you can interact with me, and you must be knowing my WhatsApp number as well for any personal query. Now, moving away from my profile and how you can get connected with me on my social media platforms, let's now start with the SBL orientation. The very first thing I would like to discuss with you in this orientation is the paper investigation. Now, a lot of things needs to be discussed about SBL and what sort of paper SBL is and how you should be preparing for the Strategic Business Leader paper. So let's open the paper investigation and let's see what sort of investigation we need to do around the paper. I will break my paper investigation into 4 parts. Number 1, the brought forward knowledge. Number 2, the syllabus for SBL. Number 3, the paper format. And number 4, the technical and professional marks. Now, firstly, in terms of the brought forward knowledge, when you're preparing for a Strategic Business Leader exam, which is the first in the series of the strategic professional exams of ACCA, and is one of the essential strategic professional paper with SPR, the brought forward knowledge is you need knowledge coming from your F1 paper, the AB paper, your F4 paper, the law, the F5 paper, the performance management, the F7 paper, financial reporting, the F8 paper, the AA, and the F9 paper, the FM. Now, it's not like if you have forgotten the knowledge, that's not an issue and you should not be worried about it because everything is covered in my SBL syllabus and you will recover the knowledge. And if you remember some sort of knowledge from your previous papers, that might be beneficial to you. And if you still not remember anything, nothing to worry about it. But let's see some examples of what sort of carry forward knowledge or brought forward knowledge from all these papers will be beneficial for you when you're preparing for SBL. Some examples of the brought forward knowledge: leadership theories and styles, that's primarily coming from the F1 paper; organizational structures coming from the F1 paper; Menlo metrics coming from the F1 paper; corporate governance from F1, F4, F8 paper; cost and management controls, more coming from the F5 paper; internal control system, again, something from F1 and F8 paper; internal audit, again, F1, F8 paper; ratio analysis from the F7 paper; and risk management, the TARA model, transfer, acceptance, reduction, avoidance, coming from the F9 paper. These are some examples of things you will find in the SBL paper, and probably you know about them. Yes, you must have forgotten them, but once you read it, you can recall that you've done these in your previous papers from F1 to F9. Now, again, I've mentioned it very clearly that even if you don't remember them or certain papers were exempted for you, nothing to worry about, because these are covered in depth and details in the SBL syllabus. Now, moving away from the brought forward knowledge you need for SBL, let's see what is the SBL syllabus about and how deep the SBL syllabus is. So let's do an investigation on the SBL syllabus. Now, in terms of the SBL syllabus and its allocation among the two tutors, because certain parts of the syllabus are still being taken by Mr. Hussain Qazi, but I will try to replace them over the course of the next few months. I'll just be sharing that plan with you once I unfold the syllabus allocation. There are 8 syllabus areas: A, B, C, D. Then you have E, F, G, H. You can see some syllabus areas are in the red boxes: A, B, C, D, F, which are primarily taken by me as Kashif Kamran. And you can see some syllabus areas which are not in the red boxes: E, G, H, which are taken by Hussain Qazi, where I'll tell you what should be my approach of replacing them. Currently, the syllabus area A, which is leadership, is being taken by me. You can see the initials KK, which is Kashif Kamran. Syllabus area B, governance, is also taken by me, Kashif Kamran. Syllabus area C, strategy, is also taken by me, Kashif Kamran. Syllabus area D, which is risk, is also taken by me. Syllabus area E, technology and data analytics, is currently with Mr. Hussain Qazi. Syllabus area F, organizational control and audit, is with me, Kashif Kamran. Syllabus area G, which is finance in planning and decision making, is with Mr. Hussain Qazi. And then syllabus area H is enabling success and change management, is with Mr. Hussain Qazi. Now, understand one thing very carefully. You have 5 syllabus areas, which belongs to me as a tutor, Kashif Kamran. So that is the significant part of the syllabus. Then you look at the 3 syllabus areas, which is with Mr. Hussain Qazi, E, G, H. Now, I have a plan that I would start replacing the syllabus area E with my lectures on a gradual basis, which can be over a month or over the next 35, 40 days. And as any lecture gets replaced, I will be informing you of that replacement in the WhatsApp group, that a certain lecture of technology and data analytics have been updated or changed, so you are aware of it. But currently, you need to watch the content of EGH as given by Mr. Hussain Qazi, and just ensure that you watch it in the same manner you are watching my lectures for A, B, C, D, and F. Yes, if I start replacing the lectures, which first will be for syllabus area E, I will keep updating you once that starts to happen. In the previous attempts, I have already uploaded 3 lectures under syllabus area E, which is on the new articles written by the examining team, which is application of new technology part 1, part 2, part 3. So under the syllabus area E, you will see 3 of my lectures already, which is on the new articles published by the examining team up to the June 2023 exams. So that three lectures are already there, and they have been conducted by me. But I have a plan of bringing more of my lectures to syllabus area E. I try my best to bring it as soon as possible. Technology and data analytics is a very journal syllabus area, and I will tell you how you can support yourself in this area by reading through the examining team articles, because lots of things in this syllabus area is very common sense, like big data or data analytics or cloud technology or e-commerce, where students have a lot of idea and a lot of information. And the examining team articles are written in such an easy language that you read through those articles and you will understand them at the very first go. Even in the examining team article, the perspective of how it will be examined in the exam is also given. So that's the beauty of the examining team articles, that when you read it, you get a perspective. And you're not just reading the articles for Mr. Hussain Qazi area, you're reading the technical articles for my syllabus areas as well. And I'll just be sharing more information on what is the importance of reading articles by the students. Syllabus area G is finance and planning, which is Mr. Hussain Qazi area. That's more about the financial analysis in the SBL paper, looking at information in the case study and then evaluating the financial and non-financial aspects of it. And then enabling success and change management is another syllabus area being taken by Mr. Hussain Qazi. So if you need any support in the areas of Mr. Hussain Qazi, I am available in the WhatsApp group for support and guidance and clarity. So you can ask any question pertaining to those syllabus areas to me directly in the WhatsApp group. So this is the syllabus in front of you from A to H. You should know the bifurcation among the tutors, but if you have any query or any question which pertains to Mr. Hussain Qazi area, you will be asking question to me in the WhatsApp group, because I am the only tutor available in the WhatsApp group to handle your queries. And because my plan is to replace Mr. Hussain Qazi areas over the next couple of months, and then the whole course will come to me as one teacher. I hope you're all clear with this, but currently you will use EGH, the content in EGH as it is, because it's effective and it's up to date. Now, the next thing is that when you look at the syllabus, which is the technical part of SBL, how would you ensure you take a control on the technical part of the syllabus? Number one, do you need to read books? No. If you're not reading the books, how would you take control? How would you take command on SBL technical knowledge? Are technical articles sufficient? Yes. This is where the command will come in. And I'll be telling you that there is a Google Drive, which I will be telling you at the end of the orientation. And already, if you are in the WhatsApp group, you know about the Google Drive. All the articles for syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are available on the Google Drive. So you just need to go to the Google Drive and download those articles on a syllabus area wise and read them. Suppose you're done with the syllabus area A or B, so read the articles for A and B. You're done with syllabus area C, read the articles. Articles is an additional support, but no student should omit the articles. No student should omit the articles. Is it mandatory to read the articles? Yes, it is mandatory. No student will say, I didn't got time to read the article. With every syllabus area, suppose you are done with the lectures for A and B, then read the articles for A and B before you move to C. Once you're done with C, read the articles for C, then move to D. So you cannot just say, I'll read the articles at the end of the course. No, you should read the articles with every respective syllabus area. It is mandatory, because article is giving you the knowledge of the examiner. Articles is giving you the knowledge which is from the perspective of the examiner. And the good thing is that in every article, the examining team will tell you how a question on that topic will appear in SBL. And that is what you need, because you need to know how this will be examined. So if you want to develop an exam perspective, the book will not develop it. The article will develop it. And the article is coming directly from the author, who is your examiner. The book is not the author of your exam paper. The examiner is the author of your exam paper. So if you want to reduce the expectation gap with your examiner, and you want to understand the perspective in which the topic will come in the exam paper, then the better is to read the technical articles. And that is my perspective. So I hope you're getting those no and yes answer, everyone. Class notes, lectures, and support materials, is that sufficient along with technical articles to gain technical knowledge for SBL? Yes. So The technical knowledge will be coming from the technical articles, the class notes. Every lecture you watch on the portal has my tutor support file, which is to be taken as a printout. And you will take a printout of the tutor support file, and then you will watch the lecture. When you're watching the lecture, the tutor support file for that lecture should be on your table. And then you start watching the lecture. During the lecture, if you like something, you can note it down. If you think that is not written by the tutor on the screen, so you can mention that down on the printout you have on the table. So when you watch a lecture, that printout on your table becomes your notes for that lecture. And in that way, you keep watching every lecture on the portal with the printout of the support file on the table before you watch the lecture. So that class notes with the lectures will become very important notes for you. And along with the technical articles, you will have the best of the technical knowledge you need to pass the SBL paper. So I hope you're all clear, right? Before you watch a lecture, first download and take a printout of the support file with every lecture available in PDF. Keep it on the table, play the lecture. When you're watching the lecture, if you want to scribble something on the printout, do scribble it, because at the end of the lecture, that printout becomes your notes and you can punch it and put it in the box file. And that goes for lecture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to how many lectures you have on the portal. Now, those knowledge will be helpful to you in terms of revision. If you want to revise it before exam day, that would be very, very beneficial for you. If you're reading the technical articles, you can either scribble on the technical article or you can develop a short notes for technical article. Ensure every technical article is converted to short notes, like 1 page maximum, because there is one core aspect of every technical article. Some articles discuss the benefits, some discuss the disadvantages and benefits, some try to tell you about the subject matter, some trying to tell you about how it will be examined in the paper. So every article has a perspective, and you should make a summary of that on 1 page. That's how you will be going with the technical articles. So this is how you're taking control of the technical knowledge. Is book reading essential? No. Are technical articles sufficient? Yes. Is it mandatory to read them? Yes. Class notes, lectures, and support material available on the portal, is that sufficient along with technical articles? Absolutely yes. So I hope you're all clear on how to take control of the technical knowledge. Now, the last thing before I take your question up to the syllabus area, approach to the technical knowledge. Number one, assumed knowledge. As a student, this is what the examining team tells to the student. Refresh this briefly. The class lectures, notes will help you here. And supplement this with the suggested reading articles. Do not spend too much time on this. The examining team do not want you to spend too much time on the technical side, because it's not a rote learn paper. It's a conceptual paper. You get a case study and you need to get involved in the case study. You need to get the answer out of the case study. So examining team says, do not spend too much time on this. Just refresh yourself. Just go with the class lectures. You're enrolled in it. Go with the notes of the tutor. You're enrolled for it. And supplement this with the technical articles. So this is the perspective of the knowledge in the SBL paper. It's not about rote learning. There's no rote learn element in SBL. So if you're just retaining the knowledge, if you're just rote learning the knowledge, and you're putting too much time on the knowledge part of SBL, you are not creating the success factor you need for SBL. Models. Examining team is telling us that students are reminded that they will not need to refer to models, theories, or principles, nor carry out detailed calculations in the exam. I recently attended a digital train the trainer for SBL conducted by ACCA, and this is the message they have given in that digital train the trainer, that students are reminded that they will not need to refer to models, theories, or principles. Model isn't the best answer. If you don't know a model and you answer a question without a model, that is still a relevant answer, because this is a perspective of the SBL examining team that model isn't the best answer. Yes, sometime in a question of the examiner, the model is very specifically mentioned. Now you have to do a question with model because the examining team is referring to the model. But if the question is silent, one student think there is a model application here, and that student do the answer with a model application, that is still a valid answer. One student failed to recognize the model in the answer and do it without the model. That is still a relevant answer because examining team is saying model isn't the best answer. You can even write a very good answer without a model if it is connected to a case study and you're fulfilling the requirement of the question. And you will find numerous examples of that once you start my course. In my practice sessions, I have given very clear guidance on model isn't the best answer. You can do it with model where you can click a model, where you can think of a model in exam paper, and another student cannot even think about a model and do it without a model. Both are relevant. So just rote learning models and just rote learning theories and then forcefully applying them is very wrong. Nor carry out detailed calculation. You need to do calculations where needed, particularly in the financial aspect of the syllabus, which is the syllabus area G, but not detailed. Detailed. So examining team is saying you should not carry out calculation. No, they're saying you should not carry out detailed calculation. You might just need to use a bit of calculator in SBL for some very basic simple calculations under the syllabus area G. So this is how knowledge is coming your way in SBL. No rote learnings, just a quick refresher. The class notes, the tutor lectures, and the technical articles will be beneficial. No rote learning stuff going to your basket. And the more important thing is there are 8 syllabus areas where lots of knowledge is coming from your carry forward papers from F1 to F9, and certain syllabus areas are taken by me and certain by Mr. Hussain Kasi. Now, just let me open the okay, now if you have any questions pertaining to the point we have reached, which is syllabus area, you are more than welcome to ask it, and I proceed further then. Any question you would like to ask about syllabus, anything you want to ask about rote learning, knowledge, you can ask it now before I proceed to the second leg of the orientation. So anything you would like to ask till now, brought forward knowledge and the syllabus. You can put a question in the chat box. Yes, is there any question from Bilal, Munir, Shiba, Shreya? Because these are proper names. Other students have not used proper names. Please ensure when you enter a live class, you're using the proper names and you're changing your name before you enter the class for the teacher to call it out. Okay, so no questions. Is everyone clear on the technical knowledge? At least you can confirm that with yes and no. Is everyone clear with the syllabus allocation among tutors? Are you clear with how to go with the technical knowledge and technical stuff? Are you clear with the mindset of SBL? There is no rote learning. It's only application. It's only application. Okay, great. So I'm moving further, right? I'm putting my camera off now and we are proceeding further. Okay. So we got the approach, assume knowledge, refreshing things quickly, and then model isn't the best answer. And that approach will become more clarified once you start my course and once you start my practice content on the portal. You will be very clear that model isn't the best answer. Okay, now moving ahead of this, SBL paper, effective September 2023 exams. Now you need to listen to this very, very carefully. And this is something very, very important because effective September 2023 exams, there are some changes in the SBL paper. I'm not saying changes in SBL syllabus. I'm saying that changes in SBL paper. There is a misunderstanding among the student community saying, has the syllabus changed for SBL? No, the syllabus is still the same. Has the paper format changed for SBL? The answer to that is yes, but slightly. It's not a 360-degree change. It's just a slight change of how the paper would now look like effective September 2023. And I will be showing you that on the practice platform in my orientation session today. Okay, let's see the SBL paper. 3 key changes effective September 2023 exams. Let's see what are 3 key changes in your SBL paper, which you will be looking for in the September 2023 exams and onwards. The 3 key changes are Number one, the introduction of the pre-seen case. I'll just come to that, what a pre-seen case is. Number two, duration of exam. What ACCA has done with the duration of exam. You must be knowing that SBL is used to be a 4-hour exam. Has there been any change in that duration? I'll just come to that. And then the format of the exam. Has there been any changes in the format of the exam, or it's still the same? And if there are any changes in the format of the exam, what exactly are they? So there are 3 key changes which a student should know for exams in September 2023 and onwards. Number 1, the pre-seen case. Number 2, the duration. And number 3, the format. Let's move on and first discuss the duration and format before coming to the pre-seen case. Paper format and duration. The paper will now be 3 hours and 15 minutes. In the bracket, no more a 4-hour exam. So whatever you see in red is the change. So red is demonstrating the change. And the bracket is demonstrating what it used to be up till the June 23 exams. So now the paper will be 3 hours and 15 minutes. That's exactly the same time you have for every strategic professional exam of ACCA, whether it is SBL, SBR, AAA, AFM, ATX, or APM. Now, SBL is also becoming a 3 hour and a 15 minutes exam, which you are habitual of as a student. So that's something good. I hope you all agree this is a good change, because sitting for 4 hours in exam was very exhaustive. 4 hours was a very long time to sit in front of a computer and do a computer-based exam. So bringing it down to 3 hours and 15 minutes, because that's something you have practiced many times for AAA, AFM, ATX, SPR. So you're very familiar with that 3 hour and 15 minutes bracket. I hope you all agree with me. 3 hour and 15 minutes is a very positive change to the SPL paper. Just waiting for your quick answers on that. Yes and no. Do you think this is a good change, bringing the time down to 3 hours and 15 minutes? Okay, one good answer from Shiba saying yes. Okay, moving on. Integrated case study. SPL paper is still an integrated case study. You get one long case study as you used to get up to the June 23 exam. So there is no change in that. And you have several exhibits. So that case study remains the same, but there is only one change in the case study, that there is now a pre-seen case. I'll just be speaking more about pre-seen case because that's one of the biggest change in SPL in my orientation. But just to make you clarified, what used to happen before, you get to the exam hall and you open up the exam paper and you have 4 hours before, up to June 23 exams, right? And for the first time, you look at the case study and you read the case study from A to Z for the first time, right? This is normally what we do in every ACC exam. Now, in SPL exam, they have reduced the time to 3 hours and 15 minutes. The reason for that is they will share a pre-seen case with you 14 days before the exams. So 14 days before your September exams, that's like mid of August, you will be getting a pre-seen case on your emails by ACCA. I'll tell you how you will get it from ACCA. And that pre-seen case means that you will familiarize yourself with a case study even before you enter the exam hall. So that means a lot of reading and planning time will go down. I hope you're getting the clarity. So a content will be released before the exam, which is a content of the case study you will actually see in the exam paper. But a certain part of that content will be shared with you before, so you can plan it, you can read it. And when you get to the exam hall, you know a bit of the case study. You have done the reading of the case study at home. And you go to the exam hall, that will save a lot of time in terms of reading and planning. So are you getting the perspective of pre-seen case? Will pre-seen case save a lot of reading and planning time in exam paper? Because ACCA will share a chunk of information with you 2 weeks before the exam. And 2 weeks is a good time to read that pre-seen case multiple times, to absorb the knowledge in the pre-seen case. And I'll be telling you what exactly you will do in those 2 weeks' time with the pre-seen case study, and what will be my role as a tutor with that pre-seen case study. But is everyone clear that the pre-seen case being shared with you is is one of the reasons why the time has gone down in SBL to 3 hours and 15 minutes. Because normally student takes like 1 hour up to the June 23 exam to read the case study in exam. You had 4 hours right up to the June 23 exam. Now you have 3 hours and 15 minutes. Is everyone clear with this? I'll be speaking more of pre-scene, what you need to do for pre-scene, what I need to do for pre-scene. Will we have a live session on pre-scene? All sort of questions needs to be addressed today. Please, I need quick answers from all of you. Are you clear with the element of pre-scene coming in? Something out of the case study shared with you 14 days before exams? Okay, good. Okay, now moving on, the next thing. Total 100 marks. So it's still the same with 80 technical marks and 20 professional marks. So no change coming in the bullet number 3. In the bullet number 4, the number of tasks in the exam are 3. Now you can see again the red. Number of tasks are now reduced to 3 because the time has gone down to 3 hours and 15 minutes. Previously, it used to be varying from 3 to 6. In the previous exams up to June 23, sometimes you used to see 3 tasks, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes even 6 tasks. Task means a requirement. Now the number of requirements have been definitely made 3. So you will not get less than 3 requirements. You will not get more than 3 requirements. You will definitely get 3 requirements. Requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3. Yes, there could be requirement 1, part A, part B. Requirement 2, part A, part B. Requirement 3, only one part. That is possible. It could be broken down into A and B. But previously, we used to see maximum 6 requirements and minimum 3 requirements. Now, with the reduction in time, examining team has made it very clear that the number of tasks in the paper will definitely be 3. Is that good? Is that a good change from a student perspective? Just 3 requirements, just 3 questions, just like a AAA paper I teach. 3 questions in 100 for 100 marks and 3 hours and 15 minutes. So if anyone has done AAA with me, you are familiar with the AAA format, right? 3 questions, 3 hours and 15 minutes. But yes, the additional change here is this pre-scene case, which is not in any strategic professional level exam of ACCA yet. So is everyone finding the positive change coming into the SBL, number of time going down, number of tasks going down to 3? A certain element will be shared before you, so you can read and plan before you enter the exam hall. So you will partially know the case study, you partially know the organization, you partially know the industry even before you enter the exam hall. I hope you all find the bullet number 4 as a positive change. Next, bullet number 5. Each task out of the 3, right? You have 3 tasks, right? So each task will be completed as a separate requirement in a separate response option or options. As a result, the exam workspace area will look slightly different. Now, just let me show you that. Each task will be completed as a separate requirement. Just let me show you that. What does this mean? If I take you back to my screen sharing and I take you back to the practice platform, I hope you can see the practice platform on your screen now. Can all of you see the practice platform on your screen? Please confirm that. Okay, great. Now on the practice platform, can you see the left panel? Can you see the left panel and you can see the task here? Can you all see the task I highlighted in the blue? Task, right? So on the very first screen of your new SBL paper format, can you just see one task coming in front of your screen, task 1, 34 marks? Can you see the task number 2 and 3 in front of your screen currently? So at one time, you will see only one task in front of your screen, task 1. Can you see the task 2 and task 3? No. So for the next task, you need to click the next button, just like you do in the triple exam. Next. And you press the next button and you will see the task number 2 now appearing in front of you. Then you click the next button and you get to the task number 3. So every task will be in a new window. Task 1, task 2, task 3. Is that clear to all of you? No, the task will not be challenging. The rigor of the task will still remain the same. I've just seen the specimen exam available for September 23 Shreya, and the difficulty level of the task is still the same. There is no change in that. So I know whenever there is a change, the student community just make fuss about it. They start making stories that paper will become difficult, things will become difficult, the passing grade will become difficult, or the task will become difficult. So this is the student mindset, right? Not the mindset of the SBL examining team, and not the mindset of the tutors teaching the SBL paper. So the task difficulty level is still the same. Okay, coming back to my agenda, is everyone clear that on one window you will see one task, just like all the other ACCA strategic level exams, and you need to click the next button to get to the next task? So one task at a time. Is that clear? And I'll be demonstrating more about this shortly. Previously, up to the June 23 exams, this is how things used to be in SBL. I hope you can see on the screen a new paper now. September, December 22. Can you see the September, December 22 paper on your screen now? Please confirm it. This is the previous version of the SBL. Okay, now can you see all tasks coming together in the previous version? All tasks coming on the one screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This used to be up to the June 23 exams. But from the September 23 exam, you will only see one task at a time, and then you have to click the next button. Is everyone clear between how the paper used to look like up to June 23 and now from September 23 onwards? Is everyone clear on that? So are you familiar with clicking next button, going to the next task in other papers like AAA, AFM, SBR? So that's the same looking structure you're getting in the SBL now. And the same looking time, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So at least ACCA have brought that consistency between SBL, SBR, AFM, ATX, and all other papers. So that is very, very important thing done by ACCA in this regard. Okay, now just let's move back to my presentation. I'll come back to this new paper format shortly. So is everyone clear with the bullet number 5? Each task will be completed as a separate requirement. Then you click the next button, then you click the next button. So each task will be shown separately, right? So as a result, exam workspace area will look slightly different in that only one task will be shown at a time, and it will no longer be possible to view all tasks together. Up to the June 23 exams, you can view all tasks together, but from September 23 exams, you cannot view all tasks together. If you want to view the next task, you need to click the next button. So you can view the next task by clicking the next button, but you cannot view them all together. So that is one of the change on the workspace you will be looking for in September 23 exams. The next one, bullet number 6, each professional skill will be examined and each skill will be tested once in the whole paper. Each skill will now be worth 4 marks. You know there are 5 professional skills in the SBL paper. I hope you're very familiar with that. Look at the last bullet. The 5 skills you have in the SBL paper is a communication skill, analysis skill, evaluation skill, skepticism skill, and commercial acumen. Now, each skill will be worth 4 marks. So 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. And that is the 20 professional marks you have in SBL. Each skill will be for 4 marks. And each skill will be examined. It is not the case you will get 4 out of 5 skills in the paper or 3 out of 5 skills in the paper. Previously, it used to happen. Or even some skills in the previous paper used to get repeated. You might get communication 2 times, you might get evaluation 3 times. But now from September 23, each skill will come once and for 4 marks. It will not be repeated. So for example, in the task 1A, there is a communication skill. So in the task 1B, there could be evaluation skill. In the task 2A, there could be an analysis skill. And in the task 2B, there could be a skepticism skill. And in the task 3, there is commercial acumen. So each skill will come once, will not be repeated again. And each skill will now be worth 4 marks, not less than 4, not more than 4. Is that clear? So all 5 skills will be examined. Number 1, give me the answer. Will all 5 skills will be examined from September 23? Yes or no? Will all 5 skills be examined from September 23? Yes, right? Will they be repeated? more than once in the same exam paper? No. And will there be definite marks for each skill? 4. Now, up to the June 23 exam, sometime the examiner repeat one skill more than once in the 100 marks paper. That will no more be the case. And up to the June 23 exam, sometimes the skill was worth 2 marks, sometimes it was worth 3 marks. Now it will definitely be worth 4 marks. So that is more consistency, right? We have consistency that at least every skill will be examined. That's number one, good thing. Number two, good thing is we know there are definite 4 marks for every skill. So I think a lot of things have been structured now. A lot of things have been made consistent now. Before, it used not to be that consistent up to the June 23 exam. So we have a 3-hour, 15 minutes paper, no more a 4-hour exam. We have still a 100 marks case study where you have 80 technical and 20 professional skill marks. There are a number of tasks which are going down to 3 now. Previously, we used to have tasks going up to 6. Each task will appear on one window. Then you have to click the next button and the next button to go to the task number 2 and 3. And each professional skill mark will be examined. So you have 5 skills. Each of the skill will be examined and each skill will be worth 4 marks now. I hope you're clear with the changes coming in the paper format and duration. Now, honestly, tell me, before I tell you more about the pre-scene, which is the biggest change, and I'll be speaking a lot about pre-scene and will be demonstrating how you go about pre-scene in your actual exam. But tell me, up to now, do you believe the paper format and duration and the changes in that is very positive? There is no negative change. The time is going down. The number of tasks is going down. The content you need to read in the real exam is going down. Are these positive changes? You need to read less in the real exam, right? You need to read less in the real exam. Less time, less number of tasks. So I think these are all positive changes, right? You're very structured that every skill will come and every skill is worth 4 marks. So you need not to see how many skill marks are there in the paper. Communication, 4 marks or 3 marks. You're very sure. Communication, 4 marks. Analysis, 4 marks. Skepticism, 4 marks. So you're very sure about how many marks you're getting per skill. You need not to plan for the number of marks. So I think in that way, I hope you all agree with me that the changes being brought by SBL examining team are very positive, number one. Number two, they have made SBL paper very consistent with the other strategic professional level papers. I hope you all getting this message. Okay, now let's move on to one of the biggest change where I need to take on the practice platform, which is the change around the pre-scene. Now, pre-scene has been introduced in the ACCA structure for the very first time. It used to be in the SIMA qualification. If anyone is aware of the SIMA qualification from UK, they used to have it for many years. Now, ACCA has brought this for the first time and in the SBL paper, pre-scene case. I hope you're very clear with the word pre-scene, that it will be shared with you 2 weeks before the exam. So 2 weeks before the exam, ACCA will share the pre-scene case with you, and that will reduce your time in the real exam and the time to read and plan in the real exam. Let's see how to go about with pre-scene case, how it will be made available to you, what you should do with the pre-scene case, and what I should do with the pre-scene case. And you frequently ask questions around pre-scene, if any, I will be answering them today. Number one, access to and the usage of the pre-scene. How would you access the pre-scene? How would you know the pre-scene has been published? And how will you use it before your real exam? Pre-scene release date by ACCA. The pre-scene is a part of the SBL exam, and therefore students should take note of its release date, which will be 2 weeks before the exam session. So you should know the pre-scene is part of your real SBL exams now. You should not avoid it. You should not ignore it. You should take it as something very important because this pre-scene is part of your real 100 marks exam, but it will be released 2 weeks before the exams. So ideally, 2 weeks before the exam, you should finish off with your course. So if you're planning for September exams, you should finish off by 15th, 16th of August. And if you're planning for December exams, you should finish off by 15th or 16th November. So you can give good amount of time to your pre-scene case then. ACCA will communicate the release date to the students through appropriate communication channels. So be alert to ACCA messages or emails the way ACCA communicate to the students. So ACCA will definitely inform you as a registered student that when the pre-seen case will be released. So please be active on your emails and keep checking your emails and the registered email you've given to ACCA. The pre-seen will be in a PDF form and students will have access to it through my ACCA portal. So you log into my ACCA and you will see the pre-seen in your My ACCA portal. So that's where pre-seen will be available in your My ACCA. So you need to log into My ACCA to see the pre-seen, and ACCA will communicate you through email when this will be available. I hope you're clear with the pre-seen release date, everyone. Is everyone clear? Any questions on pre-seen release dates? Can you move on to how will you use the pre-seen and what is the student role and what is the tutor role in the pre-seen? Is everyone clear with how it will be released and where can you access it? Any questions about the releasing date? Okay, great. Moving on. Students should plan in advance to access it as soon as it is released and set aside enough time to read and fully familiarize himself with the content of the pre-scene. So you should know it in advance that by when I will receive the pre-scene, because ACCA will communicate that to you. So for the September exams, for example, ACCA says it will be released on 17th of August. So by that point in time, you should finish off your syllabus and then should give a good amount of time on the pre-scene. If ACCA says it will be released on 18th, then you should finish off your syllabus by 18th. So from the 19th of August, you can give good enough time to your pre-seen case. So you should plan it in advance to access it as soon as it is released, and you should give good amount of time. Not all 14 days, because it's highly illogical that every day you give to the pre-seen in the last 14 days. It's not that big enough that every day you keep reading the pre-seen and you avoid the revision. You cannot compromise revision or you cannot compromise the past paper practice just by looking at the pre-seen every day. For how long will you see the pre-seen? You're not rote learning the pre-seen, right? You're not rote learning the word to word the pre-seen. I'll tell you what you need to do for pre-seen and how much time should be allocated to pre-seen. Okay, let's move on to the pre-seen aims and objective. Why pre-seen has come in? What's the objective behind the pre-seen? The primary aim of the pre-seen is to enable the students to become familiar with the business activities of the case study organization and the industry in which it's operates. So ACCA wants you to be familiar with the business activities of the organization that will be given in the case study and the industry in which it operates. So the pre-seen will help you familiarize with the business activities, number one, and the pre-seen will help you familiarize with the industry in which the organization given in the case study operates. So that's the primary aim. So when you go to the exam, 3 hours and 15 minutes, you know the industry, you know the activities of the organization, and you're very much familiar with what they do. So that will save a lot of time when you are answering task 1, task 2, and task 3. Number 2, familiarity with this important contextual information. Familiarity with the business activities and familiarity with the industry will help students to better understand and apply the further information that will be provided in the exhibits in the SBL exam. So with the pre-seen case, will you get further information in the SBL exam? Yes. Now, not 100% of the case study will be shared with you. A certain part of the case study about the business activities and about the industry will be shared with you as pre-seen. Rest of the information will be shared with you in the real exam as it was before. But that will save a lot of your reading time because you must have developed the context of the activities and industry. Number 3, the pre-seen is designed to provide background and context only and will be purposely not signal areas of the syllabus or task to be assessed in the exam. You should not speculate. You should not speculate by looking at the background given to you and by looking at the industry given to you that what sort of syllabus areas will come in the exam or what sort of task will come in the exam. ACCA has been very clear on this, that the student and the tutor should refrain from speculating the type of questions that can come in. You should just read the pre-seen. You should just contextualize the pre-seen. You should just analyze the pre-seen. You can just analyze from which syllabus areas the pre-scene has been built up. Because in the pre-scene, you might find some elements of governance, some elements of risk, some elements of strategy, but that should not help you out with spotting the question. Question spotting is something which ACCA believes students should not do. They should just understand the case and they should just understand the syllabus areas from which the case has been developed in. It's quite possible from those syllabus areas, a question will come in. But which question, what sort of question, that is wrong. You can identify the syllabus areas. That's quite logical. But from the syllabus area, identifying what sort of a question comes in, that's very wrong on part of me as a tutor and on part of you as a student. I hope you're all clear with the bullet number 3. Bullet number 4, student will not be allowed to take into the SBL exams their own annotated copy of the pre-scene. Since SBL will remain a closed book exam, a copy of the pre-scene will be available to the student in the exam, but you cannot take your own annotated copy. Is everyone clear on the bullet number 4? Can you take your scribbled pre-scene copy or annotated pre-scene copy you have worked at home for 14 days to the exam hall? No. But will you get a pre-scene as an exhibit in the exam paper? If you forget something, can you refer to the pre-scene in the exam paper? Everyone? Will pre-scene be available in the real exam if you forget something? Yes or no? But can you take your own copy of pre-scene to the exam hall? No, right? So I'll just be showing you the practice platform. I'll just be showing you the practice platform after completing my discussion on pre-scene, that how you can see the pre-scene on your real exams. If you forget something and you want to refer back to the pre-scene, you can in the real exam as well, but you cannot take your own annotated copy of pre-scene to the real exams. The next and last thing about pre-scene, format of the pre-scene. And I'll be showing you a real one just shortly. There will be 2 parts of the pre-scene information. So ACCA will give you a 2-part for the pre-scene information. That is industry and information related to the organization. So one part of the pre-scene will be about the industry in which the organization operates, and one part will be about the organization itself. The industry information, what ACCA will give you in the industry information in the pre-scene case, ACCA will continue to base the case study exam on an industry or a sector of the economy. Student needs to familiarize themselves with the information provided in the pre-scene, even if they are not already familiar with the industry. This is because for the purpose of SBL exams, certain facts about the industry may be simplified. So ACCA might make a case on an automobile industry or on a pharmaceutical industry or on a technological industry or on an aviation industry or on a banking industry. But ACCA believes that students should familiarize themselves with that industry by the information given in the exam paper. You should not go to the Google and start researching the banking industry, or you should not go to the Google and start researching the aviation industry. You're wasting your time. The amount of information or the amount of knowledge ACCA wants you to know about the aviation industry or the pharmaceutical industry, that will be given in the pre-scene case. So you should just confine yourself to knowing the industry in the boundary of the pre-scene case study. Is that clear to all of you? Will you understand the industry outside the pre-scene format? Will you understand the industry outside the pre-scene case by going on to the Google? No. You will understand the industry within the boundary of the pre-scene. That is it. Yes, but if there are some difficult jargons used in the pre-scene, can you find the meanings of those jargons over the internet? Will that make your life easier in the exam paper? A lot of time in the exam, the student fails to understand the jargons. So can you just find the word meaning of the jargons used in the case study? Will that make your life easier in exam paper? Can you better understand what is the jargon? What does the jargon refers to as? And can you better use that jargon in the exam paper then if you know the meaning of it? So I think that is an advantage of the pre-scene, right? At least if there are some difficult words, some difficult jargons used in the context of an industry, you can go to the Google and search that jargon. So ACCA, when they release the pre-scene to you, they will give you industry information. Number 2, the information about the organization. The organization in the pre-scene is fictitious. and will not represent a real organization. So sometimes the students say, oh, this is something about the Ford Motor Company. Oh, this is something about British Airways. No, this is something about the Enron Corporation. No, this is something about Walt Disney. Oh, this is something about the Emirates Airline. No, examiner is saying it is fictitious organization and not represents a real organization. So you should not hypothetically think, oh, this is a case about the Emirates Airline. Oh, this is a case about Walt Disney. This is a case about Unilever. No. The pre-scene will contain information such as when, where, and how the organization was formed. So they can give you something about the history of the organization. So they can give you something about organization history, its founders, its owners, its products and services, process, systems, suppliers, customers, ownership, governance, selected financial data, the future outlook of the company, risk of the company, challenges of the company, developments and strategies. The specific information provided will vary depending upon the industry given in each exam paper. A lot of information about organization, right? Its future, its present, its history, its customers, its suppliers, its financial data, its governance, its systems, its internal controls, products and services, etc. So is that a depth of knowledge they're giving you about the organization? And if you familiarize yourself with the organization information and the industry information, will that really help you understand the task very well in the exam? Will that really help you answer the task very effectively in the exam? Tell me. So you're sitting relaxed at home in your home environment, not even in the exam environment. You're sitting relaxed with a pen and paper and you're reading the pre-scene content. You're making your notes on the pre-scene content, because the notes you will make on the pre-scene content, even though you cannot take it to the exam hall, but the notes you're making, will that get absorbed in your mind? Because by reading, you cannot absorb. But if you're taking a notes, that notes will get absorbed in your mind and you will remember it on the day of exam, even you cannot take them. So tell me honestly, is this pre-scene format making the life easier for SBL student? Because there was a lot of fuss from the student a month ago when they even didn't know what pre-scene is, and they're saying, "Oh, paper has become very difficult. Paper has become very challenging." Tell me honestly, is the paper becoming challenging or is it becoming more easier? You are going to the exam hall half prepared. You're going to the exam hall knowing the organization, knowing the industry, even getting familiar with the difficult terminologies used in the case study. Is that making your life easier? Can that help you really answer the question in a more effective manner rather than reading so much in the real exam? Imagine this pre-scene was not given to you 14 days before exam, and you need to read that much in the real exam, which the June 23 student really did. In the June 20 till the June 23 exam, you have to read this all in a real exam. So is it better to read it in the real exam or sitting at home and reading it? Is it something good or bad? Tell me. I'm waiting for your answers. Is this pre-scene something good or bad? Are you understanding the rigor? Are you understanding the purpose why this has been released? We are living in a technological era. We are living in a digital world where access to information has become so speedier. So ACC is also realizing that access to information has become easier. So they are sharing some information with you beforehand. So try to understand the perspective behind it. Try to understand the digital world you are living in, where every information is available over the internet. So ACC is also sharing a certain information with you 14 days before the exam. So you're prepared and you go to the real exam. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next one, pre-scene format done. So using the pre-scene, and before I demonstrate, how would you use the pre-scene? 14 days before, you log into my ACCA and you get the pre-scene. Now, you know the pre-scene is about the industry, the pre-scene is about the organization, how to use it. Student should read the pre-scene to fully understand the activities of the industry and the organization. So you should read the pre-scene to understand the industry and the organization. Student will need to spend time familiarizing themselves with the industry, terms and activities, including the products and services the industry provides, the types of customers and suppliers, their developments and risk, every aspect given in the pre-scene. So try to understand the products and service, the risk, the challenges, the stakeholders, etc. So try to understand each and every individual aspect of it. And I'll just make a very good demonstration of that. Just give me 10 minutes and listen to the content on the screen. Student may do some research to better understand the terminologies and activities of the industry. It's not about doing a broader research on the Google, but if there is a difficult terminology which is used by the examiner, specific terminology of the industry, and you're not familiar with that, can you search that terminology on the Google and understand what that means? Will that really help you out? Suppose this is not pre-seen, and in the real exam, you see the case for the first time, and there is a very difficult terminology, and you fail to understand what the terminology means. You have an opportunity now to get the meaning of the terminology even before you get to the exam hall, and the activities of the industry. So if there is a pharmaceutical industry and they're doing some sort of activities, if you want to do some research on those activities, you can. But ACCA will tell you that you should not waste time on this research. It's not like you leave the pre-scene and you just get to the Google and you start reading about more about pharmaceutical industries and you're just wasting your time. It should just be a research around understanding the terminologies or some activities of the industry which you fail to understand by reading the pre-scene. However, there is no expectation that student undertake further research. It should not be a deep research. It says some research, but you should not get to a research where you're wasting your time. And obviously, I will be with you in the last 14 days when the pre-scene is available. So I will be giving you a very clear support on the pre-scene. So don't worry about it. So your tutor support will be available for pre-scene for your September and December exams. It is important to emphasize that SBL exam is based on a fictitious organization, and the exam task will relate to this organization specifically and not to any journal research that the student may have undertaken independently. So in the exam, the organization is fictitious. It could be possible that you are reading a pre-scene case and you say, oh, this case is exactly the case of the Nestle Corporation, or this case is exactly the case of the British Airways. And you start to research British Airways on the internet, and you start gathering information about British Airways. How will that help you in the exam? Of no use. Will you give real examples of British Airways or Emirates or Ford Motors or Warner Brothers in the exam? No. So do you need to get to the real organizations? Do you need to hypothesize what organization has been used in the pre-scene case? That is all the waste of time, right? I hope you're getting my message here. So it's a fictitious organization, and the case study will be built around that, and the requirements will be built around the fictitious organization. Students should ensure that they're very familiar with the content of the pre-scene prior to the exams. They should know where to find information of the pre-scenes in the real exam. If you forget something about the pre-scene on the day of exam, where can you find the pre-scene in the real exam? I'll just be showing you out that. Number 1 to number 6, is everyone clear? How to go about using the pre-scene, how to read it, how to familiarize it, how much time you have, what sort of research can you do, what sort of research you should not do. Is that clear to all of you? Should I now speak of my role in the pre-scene? How would I be helping you in the pre-scene? And then what you should not be doing. Okay, next. What to avoid doing the pre-scene? For the students, number 1, avoid extensive additional research into the industry. Number 2, avoid speculating on areas of the syllabus that will be examined based upon the pre-scene. I hope I've made that clear, number 2, earlier. So a lot of time, the student will read the pre-scene and say, oh, I believe a question like such will come in. Or the tutor telling you a question like such will come in. No, that's very, very wrong. Yes, we can break the case study into different syllabus areas to understand the depth of the case study, but identifying the type of question, that's what ACCA believes should not be done. Avoid using the pre-scene as the main source of material for answering the requirement. The exhibits provided on the day of exam must be used. So if you just believe that I'll answer all the questions from the pre-scene, no. Are there additional information in the real exam? Tell me. Should you be answering all the questions just from the pre-seen content, or you should also be reading the extra exhibits on the day of exam to answer the requirements? Tell me. Waiting for your answers. Is pre-seen alone the source of your answer in exam, or it should be the pre-seen plus the exhibits available on the day of exams to be used as your source of answer? Is everyone clear with the bullet number 3? I'm waiting for your answers, please. So is pre-seen alone the answer in exam? Yes or no? No. Shiba, very good. Pre-seen plus exhibits. Very good. Thank you, Munir. Next, avoid reading the pre-seen for the first time just before the exam session. Avoid reading the pre-seen for the first time just before the exam session. Suppose you have exam on 5th of September and you read the pre-seen on 4th. That's very wrong. Try to read it a couple of days before so that at least you can revise it. And at least you get an opportunity to have a brainstorming with your tutor. So if you're just reading 24 hours before the real exam, it might not be a good practice because you need to do a lot of brainstorming. And I will be doing a brainstorming with you a couple of days before the real exam. So at least we can interact on the case study in a more effective manner. And I can share my points with you. You can share your points with me. So we better understand and better grasp the case study. Avoid spending too much time on the pre-seen at the expense of revising areas. Such a wonderful point. Avoid spending too much time on the pre-seen at the expense of revising areas of the syllabus and completing practice mock exams. Last 14 days, you're just reading the pre-seen and you're just going researching Google. You didn't practice the mock exam. You didn't do the recent past papers. You didn't bother about revising the syllabus. Is that a good approach? Last 14 days, 24 hours a day, can you give to the pre-seen? Yes or no? Will you give all the last 14 days to the pre-seen? Is that like a 10,000 page document? No, it's just like 8 to 10 pages document. So you should also give time to your revision, to the practice of the past paper, because that is also very crucial in the last 14 days. So avoid spending too much time on the pre-seen at the expense of revision. Is number 5 clear to all of you? And I believe number 5 is the most important point so far. Is that clear? Number 5 to all of you? Yes and no answer quickly, so I move on. Okay, great. Thank you. Avoid question tipping and spotting. Have I made this very clear? Avoid question tipping and spotting. Neither you will do it, neither I will do it. Yes, we can identify the syllabus areas. We can identify, oh, a lot of chunk of information is coming from the risk syllabus area. A lot of chunk is coming from the corporate governance syllabus area. But we cannot say, okay, a question like such will come from corporate governance. No, that's wrong. So tipping and spotting of the question, that is something to be avoided when you're looking at the pre-seen. Okay, now specimen exams. Students sitting the SBL exam for September 23 onwards are encouraged to learn more about the changes by practicing the 2 specimen exam already available. I'll just show you that on the practice platform. Just give me a few minutes. There is a practice exam 1 and 2 for September 23 already published by ACCA, and I believe one more will be published in the next month or so. More specimen for the new format will be released, I guess one more. So already 2 are available. One more will come in the next few days. Plus the September 23 mock for September 23 students, and both the September 23 mock and the December 23 mock, which ACC will publish on the practice platform for December 23 students, will be additional practice around the new format. So when you're preparing for the September exams, you will also get the September mock, right? You know, ACC publish mock for every exams. So when you get the September mock, you will also get the mock pre-seen. So I hope the mock pre-seen and the mock exam will really help you understand the real exam, right? So ACC will give you a mock pre-seen, and then ACC will give you the mock exam. So you can just get the real idea how you will use the pre-seen, and then how will you connect the pre-seen with the real exams. So for September 23 students, you will get the September 23 mock. And for the December 23 student, you have an advantage of not just the December 23 mock, but the September 23 mock as an additional practice around the new format. Is everyone clear about the additional practice you can have around the new format, making yourself clear with pre-seen and the new format of the paper? Okay, one last thing before I get to my role and then looking at the pre-seen on the practice platform. Should you practice the previous past papers, which were like 4 hour long and number of tasks were more? There were no pre-seen contents. Should you be practicing those papers anymore, or you should be? Tell me, what is your perspective before I give you the ACCA perspective? Should you be practicing the previous papers from June 23 backwards? 4 hour long papers, more number of tasks, no pre-seen contents. Should you be practicing them, or should you just be practicing the specimen for the new September 23 exam 1, 2, and a mock exam? What is your say on this? Tell me. I'm waiting for your answers, all of you. Should you be practicing the previous papers, June 23 backwards? Any idea? Any perspective? No answers coming from your side. Exactly. Very good answer. This is what I was looking for. Shreya, I think yes, because syllabus is the same. Exactly. This is what ACC is telling us. There is no change in the technical aspect. Is it still a 100 marks paper? Yes. Is it still a case study paper? Yes. Do you still have 80 technical marks? Yes. Do you still have 20 professional marks? Yes. Uh, reading. I understand that now from September 23, you are doing partial reading at home and partial reading in the real exam. But when you do the June 23 papers backward, you are doing all reading in the real exam. You're reading everything as if it was published in the real exam. But will the practice of the previous past papers give you the understanding of how you read the case? Will you get understanding about how the case study comes in the exam? Do you get understanding about lots of industries, lots of organizations? Will you understand the task? Will you understand how to answer a task? Right? So yes, you should do all the past papers. Yes, from September 18, when the paper was introduced, up to uh, the recent exam available for September 23 and December 23. Is that clear? And I think we got a very good answer from even another student. Just let me connect that. Sorry. So is everyone clear with using the previous papers? You should use the previous papers, right? Because it's a source of practice. And ACCA, I attended that SBL digital training webinar. They informed the tutors that you should encourage your students to do the previous paper because technically the syllabus is the same, the marks are the same, and you should establish your habit of reading a long case study, whether it's a pre-seen or it's not a pre-seen. From September 23, it's a pre-seen, but in the previous exam, it was not. But the temperament of reading and the temperament of connecting that reading with your requirements and then writing a good answer, that temperament should come from practicing the previous past papers. I hope you're all clear with that, right? Okay, now the tutor role. What should I do with the pre-seen? 14 days before exam when the pre-seen is released, what will be my support to you? I'll just demonstrate that. Tutor role in pre-seen. Ask the student to carefully read the pre-seen. So once it's released, I will be giving you an information in the WhatsApp group, a reinforcement, a reminder that you should start to read the pre-seen now and note down relevant information under each of the main syllabus area, that is leadership, governance, strategy, risk, and so on. Also, link between the syllabus areas should be highlighted by the student, example, governance and risk. This should be done by the student independently. I will encourage you that when you're reading the pre-seen, you should note down relevant information under each of the syllabus area. I'll just tell you how would you do it. Just let me demonstrate that. But I will share with you a specimen. I will share with you a Word file for noting this down. So this is my responsibility in the last 14 days. I will give you a illustrative format that when you are reading the pre-scene, break the pre-scene under different syllabus areas. And you should do this independently. Then facilitate a group discussion, which I will do, where student analyses are pooled along with your own and consolidated into a comprehensive document, which then forms the basis for practice task from the past exams on each syllabus area. These should be attempted in a small group and shared for class discussion. Now, once you have broken down the pre-scene into different syllabus areas independently, number one, and I have broken down the pre-scene into the syllabus areas, we will sit together in an online class and you will share your perspective with me and I will share my perspective with you. And by that end of the class, we will have a consolidated document where something will be taken from your side and something will be taken from my side, and we put it into one document, and I will share that consolidated document with all of you. Now, this is the final pre-scene summary, which then form basis of practicing task from the past exams. Now, if there is a lot of content about governance or there is a lot of content about risk in the pre-scene, we cannot spot the question. We cannot spot the question, but we believe a question from risk will come, right? But which type of question will come from risk? We have no idea. We believe there is a lot of discussion about non-executive directors, or there is a lot of discussion about audit committee. So we believe question from corporate governance or audit committee can come in. But which sort of question on audit committee can come in? We have no idea. But can we do the past papers, all of them on audit committee? Can we do past papers, all of them on risk? Is that what the bullet number 2 is telling us, all of you? Please tell me with yes and no. So if there is a very significant part of risk in the pre-scene, can we do all papers of risk? Is that what bullet number 2 is telling us? Or can we spot the type of question on risk which will come in the exam paper? That is disallowed by ACCA. So are you getting the perspective of bullet 2? Is everyone clear with what should we do in bullet 2? We should consolidate the discussion of student and tutors at one place and then see which syllabus areas have been put in the pre-scene. And on those syllabus areas, we can broaden the past paper practice. But can we spot the particular question? So is bullet number 2 about spotting the question, or is bullet number 2 about doing the past papers from that relevant syllabus area? All of them. Tell me. I'm waiting for your answers. Is bullet number 2 telling us about question spotting or doing a wide range of questions from that syllabus area, just to be on the safe side? What's your say? Waiting for your answers. Please be quick. Okay, Shiba, thank you so much. Doing wide range of past papers from the syllabus areas, right? So are we spotting the question, Shiba? Are we spotting the particular question? Or on the safe side, we are just doing papers on that syllabus area just to secure ourselves, right? So I hope you are getting the tutor role in number 1 and number 2, all of you. The tutor role in number 1 is to encourage you to read it independently, is to take notes independently, break them down into different syllabus areas, and I'll just be giving you an example of that shortly. And then in the second part, my role is to bring you to an online Zoom meeting, and we discuss and we consolidately make a document, and then I'll ask you to do these questions from the past papers. Is that clear? So this all has to be done in the last 14 days. So it's very important for all of you to finish off with the syllabus by the 15th or 16th of August, so we can have plenty of time in the last 2 weeks to do all this. Okay, I hope you're clear with the tutor role. Yes, I will be doing the September mock debrief as well. So that's something I do consistently for every exam sitting. So September mock debrief will be done as well. Okay, student must be reminded that answers which they craft in the exam must be aligned with the pre-scene case study. So the answers you are writing in the exam paper should be reflective of the pre-scene case. So you must have read a lot of things in the pre-scene, but if they're not utilized in your answer in the exam, that's wrong. So one student write the whole answer from the pre-seen in the exam without reading the exhibits in the real exam. That is wrong. One student only write the answer from the exhibits in the real exam and avoid the pre-seen. That is wrong. But one student use the pre-seen plus the exhibits to write the answer. That is the best student. I hope you're getting my perspective here. So should we write the answers from the information out of the pre-seen plus the exhibits in the exam paper? Is that the best approach for number 3? But if we just omit the pre-seen, we don't refer to any information in the pre-seen, is that a wrong approach? So the amount of effort we do on the pre-seen for last 14 days is going down to waste. So when you read so much of the pre-seen, you had tutor facilitation group on pre-seen, nothing has been referred from the pre-seen to your answer, then what's the sense? So I hope you're getting the number 3 very clearly. So that is pre-seen, right? And I hope you're all very clear on pre-seen now before I move to the last part of the orientation. Is everyone clear on pre-seen? Are you getting a clear information? When will it be published? How it will be published? What is the student role in pre-seen? What you should do, what you should not do? What is the tutor role in the pre-seen and how you should go about it? Will it be available in the real exam? Yes. Can you take the pre-seen to the exam paper, your own pre-seen? No. Okay, now let's do a demonstration quickly before I get to the last part of the orientation. Now let's go to the practice platform. Let me open the practice platform for you. I hope you can see the practice platform on your screen and you can see the specimen 1 for September 23. Can you all see the specimen 1 on this screen, which I just highlighted in the blue now? So 2 specimen has been published, but you can still use the previous papers to understand the exam rigor. Okay, now can you see the left panel? Can you see exhibits? These exhibits will be shared in the real exam. So you have to read these exhibits in 3 hours and 15 minutes of the exam time, right? But under the exhibit, can you see the pre-seen information right over here? If you forget and you want to refer back to the pre-seen, is the pre-seen available in the real exam as well? But this pre-seen will be shared with you 14 days before. But in the exam, if you want to refer and you forget something, can you refer back to the pre-seen? Yes. Then you can see the task and then you can see the response options. Now just listen to me very carefully. This is the most important part of this orientation. Now in the real exam, you enter the exam hall and you look at this screen in front of you. Now, you know you have read the pre-seen, so you're not bothered about reading the pre-seen in the real exam, likely. The very first thing you will do in the real exam is you will open the task 1 on your screen and you will quickly see what you need to do in the task number 1. The task number 1 tells us you need to write a report, right? So that means the task number 1A will be done in a word processor because you need to write a report. And the task 1B, you need to make 2 presentation slides. So when you need to make the 2 presentation slides, so that means you need to take the response option of slides. Now, once you do my practice over the portal, it will be very clear how you write answer in a slide or how you write answer in a word processor. That is something you will get out of my lectures on the portal, particularly the practice lectures in form of the webinars on the portal. So it's too early, but you know from the task 1A that you need to write a report. A report is written on the Word file, and the 2 presentation slides will be put on the slide area of the response options. Now, in the task 1, now what is changing? What is changing in the real exam? In the task 1, it says, prepare a report for the board of directors which evaluates the opportunities and challenges which PSS must consider. And you must be knowing a lot about PSS from the pre-seen reading at home. Must consider in relation to the proposed contract with Zealand Health. So should we consider the opportunities and challenges in relation to the proposed contract with Zealand Health? So is the task number 1A focused on the proposed contract with Zealand Health? All of you? Now, There is a specific exhibit about proposed contract. If you see the left-hand side of the screen, can you see this exhibit number 1 here? Contract terms to supply bed and mattresses. Can you all see this? Exhibit number 1. So does that mean that the answer of the task 1A lies in the exhibit number 1 along with the pre-seen content you have read at home? I'm waiting for your answers. This is a very big change now in the SBL exam. Up to the June 23 exam, you were not sure from which exhibit the answer will be taken out. And that was the reason you were given 4 hours. In the first 1 hour, you used to read all the information, and then you choose that which information is relevant for the task 1A. Now, from September 23, each task will address one exhibit. And how will you know which exhibit to connect with? By reading the requirement. So the moment you read the requirement 1A, you saw the word proposed contract with Zealand, and you saw the exhibit number 1, which is about a contract to supply bed mattresses. So you thought, okay, 1A will be answered from exhibit 1. So when you're answering the task 1, will you just be reading the exhibit 1 in the exam in your reading and planning time? Or will you be reading all the exhibits now for task 1? Will you just read the exhibit 1 and answer the requirement 1A with your pre-seen knowledge? Tell me. Right, and then you have the second slide. Prepare 2 presentation slides. Sorry, it's written over here. The chief executive is aware that the contract with Zealand Health is a conditional upon PSS complying with eco management and audit scheme. So they believe that the contract with the Zealand Health is conditional for them to apply with the EMAS. Prepare 2 presentation slides with accompanying notes, which can be presented at the next board meeting, which explain the actions which PSS will need to take to comply with EMAS and outline the key areas which should be included in the environmental policy. Where is the answer? Is it in continuation of the contract? Is it a certain term of contract? Because the first line says the chief executive is aware that the contract with Zealand Health is a conditional upon PSS of complying with the EMAS. So is it one of the contractual term that we need to comply with EMAS? So are we making the presentation slide only out of the exhibit number 1? Because exhibit number 1 is referring to the contract, right? So the whole task 1 will be answered from contract terms to supply the bed mattresses. So when you're answering the task number 1, you know that the task number 1 will be answered from exhibit 1 along with the pre-seen content, the knowledge which you have before. And you answered the task number 1. Then you get to the task number 2 on the next screen, and you open the task number 2, and the task number 2 tells you, prepare a briefing paper. So briefing paper will be prepared on a word processor. Assess the issues raised by the staff survey. So you have to assess the issues raised in staff survey. Where is the staff survey? Exhibit number 2. So will the answer come from the exhibit number 2 plus the pre-seen? Is that clear? And in the B part, draft an email to the human resource director, which advises on the talent management. Email from the human resource director, which advises on the talent management. Can you see there is an exhibit, which is email from the human resource director right over here in the exhibit number 3. So task 2A is about the staff survey. So it will be read from the exhibit number 2. Task 2B is an email to the human resource director, which is in the exhibit number 3. Is that clear? So 1 exhibit per task. But in the task 2, we have 2A 1 exhibit, 2B second exhibit. And then you get to the last one, task number 3. Task number 3, prepare a briefing note. So again, it has to be answered in the word processor. Discuss how PSS could benefit from analyzing and using the data from online customers and website, and advise on threats which PSS could be exposed to. Which exhibit it is referring to? See the opening paragraph here. The opening paragraph says the finance director has emailed you. Now, in which exhibit the finance director has emailed me? Exhibit number 4, email from the finance director. So will this exhibit 4 help me answer the task number 3? So are you very clear that from the September 23 exams, because you have just the 3 tasks to be read in exam, each task will be answered out of a certain exhibit. So you should just read that certain exhibit in the reading and planning time, along with your knowledge of the pre-seen content to answer it. Now just understand this on my Word file here. Can you see the Word file in front of your screen? Time management, and how to read, plan, and write an answer, from September 23 exams onwards. Can you see the Word file? Please confirm. Can you all see the Word file in front of your screen? Okay, thank you. Okay, now tell me how much time you have from September 23 exams onwards. Total of 195 minutes, which is basically 3 hours and 15 minutes, right? Okay, now when you have 195 minutes, how many marks you have in the SBL paper? 100 marks. So that is 1.95 minutes per mark, right? 1.95 minutes per mark. Now, from this 1.95 minutes per mark, for example, you were faced with task 1 of the September 23 specimen 1 exam, which we just saw. Now, in the task 1 was worth 34 marks, right? So immediately in the exam, you know the 1.95 minutes. So you take out your calculator in the exam and you calculate how much time you have in the real exam for this. So you go back to your practice platform again. We were using this practice platform, and you go previous and previous. You reach to the task number 1. You take out an on-screen calculator. You bring it to the standard mode. And on this on-screen calculator, you say 1.95 into 34. So that makes me 66.3 minutes. So I go back to my Word file. So 34 marks into 1.95 is equal to 66 minutes I have for the entire task number 1. Now, you know the best practices of ACCA. One fourth of the total time is to be spent on reading and planning, and 3/4 of the total time is to be spent on writing the answer. Now that means when I'm answering the task number 1, out of the 66 minutes I have, 1/4 of that. What is 1/4 of 66? Can anyone give me the answer? Approximately 18 minutes. Is that correct? Please, if you can just collaborate with me quickly so we can get over this. Okay, just give me 1 minute then. Okay, we have 66 minutes in exam dividing by 4. We have roughly 16 minutes, right? We have 16 minutes to read and plan. And then you get to the next part, you have the writing time. So 66 minutes of the 66 minutes minus 16, we're getting to our time of 49, 50 minutes, right? 50 minutes of the writing time. So this is the first task, 1.95 minutes. Now, what I'm doing in the 16 minutes, I've already read the pre-scene. I might forget something from pre-scene. So in this 16 minutes, what am I doing? Task 1 was about contract with Z Land Health. which was exhibit 1. So you just need to read the exhibit 1 for answering task 1, plus if you need need to refer back for some elements of pre-scene. So 16 minutes, primarily you're focusing on just reading through the exhibit number 1 and finding your answer for task 1A and 1B. And if you forget something and you just want to make a clarification, you can just go down quickly to the pre-scene. Pre-scene should not take much of the time because you're familiar with the structure of the pre-scene, right? So you know which page number or which area of the pre-scene to go in, so you can quickly jump to the pre-scene and take your content out in the 16 minutes. Now, after 16 minutes, when you read the task 1, you know what information is given there. Now you have 50 minutes to write a beautiful answer. So in the 50 minutes, you will write an answer, connect your answer for task 1A and B with the case-specific information coming from the pre-scene and the exhibit 1. And in the same way, you go to the task number 2, you see the number of marks allocated to the task number 2, and you multiply this by 1.95, and you move on. Is this first example fine for all of you? Will you do it on the task 2? Look at the number of marks, multiply by 1.95, take out the total time, divide it by 4 to take out the reading and planning time, and the remaining is the writing time. Every task will be answered from a specific exhibit, as I demonstrated to you just now. Task number 1, when you read the task number 1, there was an element of a contract, which was in the exhibit number 1. In the task number 2, they were talking about 2 things. One, a staff survey, which was in the exhibit number 2. And in the task 2B, they were talking about an email from the human resource director, which was in the exhibit number 3. And then in the task number 3, they were talking about an email from the finance director, which was in the exhibit number 4. Now, from September 23 exam, each requirement will specifically connect with an exhibit. So in the exam, you will just read that exhibit, answer the task, and move to the next button. Then you open the next task, see the exhibit to connect with, just read that exhibit, move on. You will not read all the exhibits together from September 23 exams onward. Up to the June 23 exams, when you see my portal, we used to read all the exhibits together because all the tasks were given to us together. Is that clear to all of you? Are you understanding the approach, what you need to follow from September 23 exams onwards? Is the example clear to all of you? Are you getting clarity that each task will connect to one exhibit? You should not read all the exhibits together. So should you be reading all the exhibits together before answering the task 1? Yes or no? From September 23? No. Should you read the specific exhibit to answer the task number 1 and move on to the next one? Will that help you with the reading and planning time? 3 hours and 15 minutes. Is everyone clear with the time management? 1.95 marks, 1.95 minutes per mark. Is everyone clear with that? Great. Okay. Let's just move on to the practice platform for one last thing. Just want to show you something quickly. Pre-scene. Okay, now can you see the pre-scene in front of your screen? I just opened it up for you. Can you just see this pre-scene? Strategic Business Leader, Specimen Exam 1, pre-scene information. This is to be shared with you 2 weeks before the exam. And how many pages we have here? 11 pages. The first is the title page, so just leave it out. So you have 10 pages. The next page is the content page. It's telling you what is on the page number 2 to 10. So technically you're reading 10 pages in like 2 weeks. And they're giving you introduction. They're giving you industry information. So the industry information. They're giving you overview of the PSS, the organization. They're giving you some website extract of PSS, which is the organization here. And then they're giving you some financial information about PSS. So that's what exactly the examining team was telling us in my presentation today. Financial information, something about the organization coming from the website, the overview. See how many overviews have they given you: background, ownership, board structure, information system, product, supplier, manufacturing. They're giving you something about industry information as well. So, and then you go to the next page and you start reading from page number 3 onwards, 14 days. You will read first, tutor will read with you in a brainstorming session. Now, when you're reading through this page number 3 onwards and you're getting so much information about your industry and the client in the organization, and you read page 3, 4, 5, what exactly you are doing? You will open up a Word file just like this, and you get to the next page. And for example, this is what I will share with you in the last 14 days. Pre-scene reading format, right? I will be sharing with you. Now, suppose you're reading the pre-scene about PSS from September 23, specimen 1. PSS is the name of the organization, right? Now, you know there are 8 syllabus areas. And by the time you will read the pre-scene, will you have command on the 8 syllabus areas? Yes and no. When you read the pre-scene 14 days before the exam, will you know every syllabus area and the topic? So will you be capable of picking from the pre-scene which section of the pre-scene relates with which syllabus area? Everyone? So you will immediately take a Word file even before you start reading the pre-scene, and you will break the pre-scene into leadership, syllabus area A, governance, syllabus area B, strategy, syllabus area C in order, risk, syllabus area D, internal controls, A, B, C, D, E. Sorry, E is technology. Technology, anything out of technology will fall in syllabus area E. Syllabus area F, internal controls. So anything about controls and audit will fall in syllabus area F. Then we have finance and planning. Anything about financial aspects will fall in syllabus area G. And anything about change management or enabling success will fall under here in the case study. So now I can start reading the pre-scene case. Any information I get about technology in the pre-scene case, I will copy paste that under every relevant section. So at the end of my pre-scene reading, I will know exactly how much content from page number 3 to page number 11 given in the pre-scene falls under the respective syllabus areas. And it's quite possible that in the pre-scene case, some of the syllabus areas are not even touched upon. We do see this in the SBL cases, that it's not exactly all 8 elements are tested, sometimes even 3, sometimes 4, maximum 5. So it's quite logical that the pre-scene case has no information about technology or change management, etc. So not necessarily find information about anything. So when you will do this first, you will read the case at home independently. You will copy paste information under selected syllabus areas, and then you will prepare for a brainstorming with a tutor. I will do the same myself. I will sit down, read, copy paste things under every syllabus area, and then we'll share my file with you and your file with me on in the brainstorming session, and we'll see the final document. And then we'll formulate the final document. So this is how you will sit down and read the pre-scene case, which you can see now in front of your screen. Just give me 1 minute. Can you see the pre-scene case back on your screen now, all of you? And were you looking at the Word file before it? Were you looking at the Word file before it? Okay, so you start reading the pre-scene case in the last 14 days. I will be guiding you on that. But see, this is like 3 to 11. So that's like 8 pages, a lot of information. And see, now tell me, this lot of information, reading at home, planning at home, understanding at home with the support of the tutor, is that better? And if there are any difficult jargons, you can go on the Google to understand them. Is that better, or is that reading this real, is that reading these 11 pages in the real exam better? Now tell me, has paper become easier or difficult? Has sim becomes better or difficult? Because reading these 11 pages in a real exam, along with exhibit 1, 2, 3, 4, imagine the amount of reading the student used to do up to the June 23 exams. And the amount of reading now you will be doing. You are doing 11 pages of reading at home with the tutor, and you're just reading the 4 exhibits in the real exam with 3 tasks. Is everyone clear with this? So this is how pre-scene will come to you on your My ACCA. 14 days before exams. This is how the structure of pre-scene will look like. In a PDF format, it will be shared. If you forget something from the pre-scene, it will be available in the real exam right under the exhibits, pre-scene information. I hope you all can see it. So is everyone clear with the structure of the paper from September 23? One task at a time. You click the next button, then you click the next button. Each task will be connected with a certain exhibit. Read that exhibit and the pre-scene information. You remember to answer the requirement. I've given you clarity on the time management, how to break the time management now from September 23, because when you watch my lectures on the portal, the time management will be a bit different because we were addressing to a 4-hour exam by then when the lectures were recorded. I hope you're clear with all this. Now, just let's move to the last part of our discussion quickly. You know, in the SBL paper, you have professional as well as the technical marks. Just let's take a quick glimpse what you need to do for both. In terms of the technical marks, you have 80, professional marks are 20. Technical marks, how to grab them. A very basic rule of thumb for SBL paper, 2 marks per well-explained point, depth of explanation, well applied or connected with case. How will you get these 2 marks per well-explained point? For that, you have to do 2 things. Depth of explanation, which you will understand once you go over my course and my practice, and well applied or connected with the case. If you are writing a point which is not connected to a case, you're not fetching 2 marks. If you write a point which is not explained in a depth, you're not fetching the 2 marks. What is depth? A SBL examining team tells us that the depth means 3 to 4 sentences long. And what is a sentence? A sentence is where you put a full stop. A sentence is not a line. Agree or disagree? I'm waiting for your answers. Sentence means where you put a full stop. So sentence can be 1.5 line long. So there is a difference between a sentence and a line. So I'm saying 3 to 4 lines. No, I'm saying 3 to 4 sentences long. That is a depth of explanation. Anything less than 3 to 4 sentences long is not depth. Anything more than that, SBL examining team hates that. SBL examining team tells us that you should not write anything longer than 4 sentences. Anything longer than 4 sentences is very bad. Anything less than 3 to 4 sentences is very bad too. So 3 to 4 sentences is a depth of explanation and well connected to the case study. Not writing something generic is well explained point for 2 marks. Technical. So if you look at 10 marks in SBL, divide the 10 with 2. So you need to write 5 points. And the 5 points should then be well explained. So that's a simple technical marks allocation in SBL. Professional marks. You know, there are 5 professional skills. You will be learning them across my syllabus coverage once you start the course after the orientation. 5 skills are communication, analysis, skepticism, and commercial acumen. And each skill will now be tested for 4 marks in the real exam, and that will make the marks up to 20. No skill will be repeated. One skill will come only once and for 4 marks. Professional skill marks, communication skills. Once you go over my course, I have made it very clear how you can fetch these how can you fetch these professional marks. But just to make things very clear, what is the literal meaning of the word communication? To express something clearly and convincingly. How will you do it? You need to watch my course for it. Commercial acumen means to demonstrate awareness of the wider business and external factors affecting the business. So you should have a sound business understanding. A student can demonstrate commercial acumen if he or she has read the case study very well, and you're fully aware of the problems, the issues, the threats, the opportunities of the business. So if you're writing something, you are familiar with the bad side and the good side. That's where acumen comes in. Analysis means to thoroughly investigate something. So if examining our team is asking you to analyze something, so you thoroughly investigate something by looking as deep as possible within the information given in the case study. Again, this is something you will be learning over the passage of the course. Skepticism is to probe something, is to question something, is to challenge something. So you need to have a very critical tone, challenging the management or questioning the management in the context of the answer. And again, this is again something you will be learning across my syllabus coverage. Evaluation is to carefully assess. Normally, when you do an evaluation, you need to find the pros and cons. You need to look at the drawbacks and benefits. You need to look at the advantages and disadvantages, because evaluation is done in a 360-degree view, both sides. Analysis, evaluation are more or less the same. Professional skill marks, how to grab them. To earn professional skill marks, you need to demonstrate the professional skill as requested by the examining team. You will get hold of that once you take my full course on the portal, particularly the practice sessions. Carefully read the professional skill mark statement to see how the skill is to be demonstrated. Exactly do the same to fetch most of these marks. Now, you will understand the bullet 1, 2, 3 once you complete the syllabus and you watch the practice. So professional skill marks are to be demonstrated in the manner requested by the examining team, and that request is given under every requirement of the SBL paper, and you will carefully read how it is to be demonstrated, and you will demonstrate it in the same manner. Something you can easily understand today in the orientation is this. There are journal professionalism marks as part of the professional skill marks, which includes using proper format. So if the examining team is asking you to write a report, write a letter, write a briefing note, if you use the proper format, you are still gaining your professional skill marks as part of journal professionalism. Headings and subheadings. Examining team loves headings and subheadings. The more, the better. No para should be more than 3 to 4 sentences long, and long paragraphs are hated by the SBL examining team. So 3 to 4 sentences is the maximum length of a good paragraph. Avoid repetition. Answer is well connected to the case. If you do these 5 basic things, you're fetching journal professionalism marks, which are part of your professional skills in SBL paper. But how you take the specific marks about analysis, evaluation, commercial acumen, for that, you need to complete the course, then watch my recordings of the practice sessions, and you will be able to understand the first 3 bullets over here. Time management. I've already spoken of the time management, so I'm skipping this slide to save my time. You know how to allocate the 195 minutes. I've already demonstrated the September 23 specimen exams. I've already given you how you should break the time into reading and planning and then into writing. How to use the course on the portal. When you watch the course on the portal is divided into A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Then you have the exam drilling sessions from where you can gain confidence about professional skills, how to write an answer, and then my webinars and mock debrief given on the portal, which will give you more excellent perspective about professional skills and how to write a good answer. So these are total of like 40 hours, but this 40 hours will come in the end of the syllabus. But first, you need to watch the gray areas. These gray areas is the technical part. So first complete the technical part, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, which is divided between myself and Hussain Qazi. Follow the guidance, read the technical articles for every syllabus area. Once you complete the technical part, then come to the exam drilling and practice session for 17 hours, and then the webinars and the mock debrief for 21 hours, so that you gain the right exam practice before the pre-scene is released by ACCA. Go in order. Go in order. Don't change the order. How to go with the course? Go in order of the portal. Complete the course by 15th August for September 23 students and by 15th November for the December 23 students. So you can put more time on the practice, revision, and the pre-scene content. Read all articles recommended during the course. Prepare your own short notes while going with the lectures and reading articles. The tutor will discuss and guide you about the pre-scene once it is available and give you time to go through it before the brainstorming in a live class. I just made the number 5 clear, right? I hope you're clear with that my role in the pre-scene will be in the last 7 to 10 days before the real exam. The September 23 and December 23 mock debrief will be uploaded a week before exam, so you can benefit for it after attempting your mock. So the mock debrief will be recorded and uploaded, and you can watch and play the mock debrief after you have completed the mock yourself. And I normally prefer that you watch the mock debrief a day and two before the real exam. So you should do the mock very close to the real exam. So if you're preparing for September or December exams, do the mock at least 2 to 3 days before the real exam, and then watch the mock debrief, which I will be uploading. Ensure you submit all assignments, any past paper you want to do, and any past paper you want to solve, and you want to send me for review. You can email me as much as possible at my email ID, sblkashifkamran@gmail.com. Normally 2 to 3 working days are required for me to respond to your emails, but all emails will be responded. No email will be left unattended. This is how you should go down with the course. Google Drive, which is shared in the WhatsApp group. This is the hyperlink of the Google Drive, but don't worry, you have this Google Drive in the WhatsApp group. I will reshare if you have missed anything after the orientation. And in the Google Drive, if I just want to show you one thing in the Google Drive for 1 minute, I hope you can see the Google Drive on your screen now. Please confirm me. Can you see the Google Drive in front of your screen, all of you? Okay, great. Now in the Google Drive, can you see the tutor notes here? Something very important. In the Google Drive, can you see the tutor notes over here? Number 2, tutor notes. So you will find the tutor notes of my syllabus areas, A, B, C, D, and F. For Hussain Kazi syllabus areas, it's on the portal. It's on the portal, right? It's on the portal. My syllabus areas is here. The tutor notes. Can you see the past paper? If you want to search for past papers, it's right over here. Can you see articles to read? See, these articles to read are divided into syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So for every syllabus area you complete, suppose you complete A and B, then open the articles for A and B and read all these articles. So every syllabus area you finish off, come to the Google Drive, read all the articles for that particular syllabus areas, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So all articles are available here. So please ensure you use the Google Drive effectively. How to use the Google Drive, when to use the Google Drive, when you start watching my lectures. In my lectures even, I keep giving guidance on the Google Drive. So how to use, which document to use from the Google Drive. You can see so many documents coming over here. I do recommend these documents in my recorded lectures. So wherever you watch my recorded lecture and there is any reference to any document, and I say you should read this document, don't be worried about it. You will find this document in the Google Drive. I'm not just going over every document here, but you will find relevance to these documents when you go over the Google Drive. Over my lectures, sorry. And the last thing, final revision. Revision through Dr. Dinu 100 series. Go through the Dr. Dinu 100 series document as it gives you the holistic overview and a quick revision in the last 2 weeks before exams. You can even use it during the coverage of the course on topic by topic basis. Read page number 38 onwards of Dr. Dinu. I'll just show you what Dr. Dinu is. Dr. Dinu is such a wonderful document for revision in the last 2 weeks. Read page 38 onwards for Dr. Dinu. Avoid page 81 and 111 as these syllabus areas are now deleted. So in the Dr. Dinu 100 series, please avoid reading page 81 and 111 as these are now deleted. Page number 38 onwards, you have to read. This is a very good revision in the last 2 weeks. And you can even use it, Dr. Dinu, on a syllabus area wise A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Suppose you've completed a syllabus area A and B, so you can go down and watch the Dr. Dinu document. Syllabus area C, watch the Dr. Dinu document. Sorry, read the Dr. Dinu document. So you can even use it through the coverage of the syllabus. Now just let me show you what Dr. Dinu is. In the Google Drive, can you see the folder Dr. Dinu 100 series, all of you? In the Google Drive, can you see the Dr. Dinu, all of you? Okay, click on it and you will find a PDF document. Open the PDF document. I hope you can see the PDF document on your screen now, all of you. Right, so you go down to the page number 38 of it, right? So you scroll down and down and down till the time you reach to the page number 38 of this document. 38. Okay, 38. 100 things you should know about SBL. That is where you should start from. And these 100 things are put over here as a very good flow chart. Now, these are 100 things you should have on your fingertips for SBL. And you should go topic by topic. See, you can see topics being broken down into corporate governance and every other aspect. So if you've done the corporate governance area, you can revise it. If you've done the risk area, you can revise it. If you've done the strategy area, you can revise it. But these 100 things start from here, 100 index. Now, in this 100 index, you can just keep ticking the areas you have completed on a syllabus by syllabus basis. There are two things in the 100 index, which is deleted from the syllabus, which I've just highlighted page number 81 and 111. One of them is a Tucker 5-step model. This is deleted from the syllabus. I hope you can see it on the screen now. The Tucker 5-step model is deleted from the syllabus, so please don't read it. It's on the page number 81, I think, or 111. And then there is the topic ALAP principle. ALAP principle is also deleted from the syllabus. So otherwise than that, the other 98 areas are still valid. So you can do a holistic revision about all this. And each of the 100 areas is then covered. Area 1, the 5 skills. Area 2, area 6, because 5 skills means area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Area 6, why governance? So once you've completed the syllabus area on governance, you can just revise it out and see why governance was it, what it is all about. Do you know about it? Just read the summary quickly. Area 7, what is agency relationship? Do I know about agency relationship after going through the course of my tutor? Examples, given examples of the past paper on agency relationship. Okay, next. Area 8, key concepts of corporate governance. Do I know about the key concept of corporate governance after going through the tutor slides? If not, then read through it. What is accountability? Read through it. What is stakeholder? Read through it. These are summaries, quick summaries, examples of stakeholders, how to use the Menlo metrics. See, I hope you're getting the benefit. If you read from page number 38 onwards on a syllabus by syllabus basis or in the last 15 days, even this is such a good revision in the last 15 days, one page, one area, and you're reading through these pages. Have you got the perspective of this document, all of you? This is such a good revision of the 98 areas minus the 2 which have been deleted. And it gives you such a holistic control of SBL that at least I can tick everything. I know this. Even if you don't know something, can you just revise it from the Dr. Dinu as part of revision, everyone? So will you be using the Dr. Dinu revision series as part of your last 15 days revisions from page number 38 onwards? And you can even do it syllabus by syllabus. After syllabus area A and B, tick mark the areas from Dr. Dinu, which relates with leadership and governance. After strategy, tick mark all the areas which relates with strategy. Tick mark all the areas which relate with risk. So you can go topic by topic. It's up to you which approach you like. But again, Dr. Dinu is a document which should not be ignored. Such a wonderful document. And I always appreciate the contribution of Dr. Dinu in this making of document. And that's the reason I always refer it. So that's the revision through the Dr. Dinu. Okay, that's finish off the orientation. I hope that was a bit long orientation, but a lot to be discussed considering changes from September 23. I hope the basic purpose of this orientation was to give you a strategy for September 23 and December 23 exams, and I hope you all got it. And the basic purpose of this orientation was to bring changes in front of you. Is everyone clear with the changes? Is everyone clear with the pre-scene? Is everyone clear with what you should do for pre-scene, what I should do for pre-scene? And is every question on pre-scene answered? Is there any question on pre-scene which is still disturbing you? Or is there something on the new format which is still disturbing you? Is there something on the changes which are still disturbing you and you would like to ask in? You have an opportunity now. So if you think I missed out something in this very long orientation, please go ahead and start asking your questions. You have this opportunity. Over to you. Okay. Let's see if there are any questions coming in. Okay, Munir is saying, thank you, sir, for the clarifications on changes. I hope you're very clear on that, Munir. Thank you so much for that. Anything you would like to ask anyone? Any questions from your side? Any clarifications? Anything you think I missed out as a tutor in my orientation, where you need a guidance on? This recording will be available on the portal in the next couple of hours, so all of you can watch it again. You can take notes of orientation. The slides of orientation will also be uploaded. The Word file will also be uploaded. Everything I shown you in the orientation, like my presentation, like the Word file I was writing on for time management, all will be uploaded. So nothing to worry about, right? So any questions from anyone, or should I conclude it off now? Yes, Munir, for each exam, there will be a separate pre-scene. So there is a specimen 1, have a different pre-scene, specimen 2 has a different pre-scene, then you will get the September mock, it have a different pre-scene. So every exam will have a different pre-scene. And in even the real SBL exams, we know different exam papers are set for real exams even because of the different time zones in the different part of the world. So pre-scenes will be different, right? So sorry, for the real exams, Munir, the pre-scene will be the same, but the questions, the task might be different for the real exams, right? Uh, all students across the world will get one pre-scene, but the task could change in the real exams out of that pre-scene. Okay, thank you so much, Munir, and thank you for being in the session for the whole 3 hours, because lots of students came in and then left because of the long duration of the orientation. But I thought this orientation should be longer because every perspective should be made clear. So I hope you all benefited from that. Okay, then have a good coverage of the syllabus. I wish you all the very best of luck, and I hope you do it effectively, right? Your tutor, Kashif Kamran. I'm signing off from this orientation session for SBL, and I hope you study effectively in an organized manner for your September 23 and December 23 exams. Have a good day. Take care, all of you. Goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.